So as planned, we went to That's Toast for our breakfast. Unfortunately, I was so preoccupied with eating my breakfast and enjoying this gorgeous food that I actually forgot to film any of it. Although I did take this picture.
As I was wandering through this market, we were going to try and find somewhere that had like this canal system here, and I found this clearing which seemed to be correct in that there was a river, but then we just found this market that we just started wandering through, and honestly it's one of the really nice parts of Bruges that we didn't even know was here.
Some of the items in this market are amazing. Look at all this beer, which is actually handmade candles. You can always rely on the women to start looking at jewellery, right? It was a gorgeous little market, and I'm really glad that we stumbled upon it. And with the amount of shops selling cakes and biscuits and sweets, it was inevitable that we would end up in one of them. And yes, we did buy a couple of things.
So all finished in Bruges, just scoffed our faces full of ice cream, and now we're heading into the car, where we'll be then heading on a 2-hour drive to Dinant. Unlucky 13, I think. So we've pulled over to get some fuel, and it's not a pay at pump thing, so unfortunately, because I always prefer those, it's much easier. So we're gonna have to like go in store and pay. So I don't know what you guys are used to, but for me, you turn up, you take the nozzle off, you wait for the cashier to activate it, and you start filling up. You go and pay, and that's it. But I've taken the nozzle off, I'm waiting around, nothing's been activated. Rachel's gone in to pay, because there's no payment option here, so it might be a prepay thing. She's paid for €50 worth of fuel, and the pump's still not activated, so I don't know what's going on. Ah! Just by magic, it works! So we've got €50 worth coming our way now.
After the fuel fiasco, we continued our journey to Dinant.
I've just popped to Lidl to get some food and stuff for like, I don't know, sandwiches and things like that. Hopefully within 5 minutes we'll be at our place, and then we'll start exploring Dinant. It's also the birthplace of the person who invented the saxophone, so you see a lot of saxophone influence there. And what else? A fort of sorts on a cliff, which I'm sure will be better to explain once you see it.
Dinant is such a small town and only a few roads wide, and navigating it was quite tricky because of some of the one-way systems in place and the lack of parking. It made finding our apartment quite difficult, not to mention where the hell do you park the car. But a long story short, we found a spot for the car, we found the apartment, all is right with the world.
It's coming up to 6 o'clock and we finally got to our apartment here in Dinant. And it's beautiful, it's so beautiful. Being in a top floor apartment as well,
with these skylights and these big windows, as you can kind of see behind me there. And that's a lot of heating. Oh my god, it's hot. We have aircon, which took some figuring out, because even when you read the instructions, it's basically turn it on, obviously, switch it to aircon and turn the temperature down to where you want it. And it wasn't doing anything, it wasn't fanning out, but it just takes a long time for the programming or whatever to kind of think about it. But eventually it started working, and it's made things a lot easier. So our view is one of the best views here in Dinant.